So in this video, I'm going to discuss a strong passport and effectively a free passport. And the reason why I mention millionaires only is because there's a specific reason. Of course, this is effectively free, so it doesn't have to be a millionaire. Anyone can get it. And a lot of our clients are starting this option so that they can get this. The magical thing, and here's really the crazy part, is that you can get this passport in 2 weeks. Exactly. In 2 weeks. In fact, 2 weeks is on the upper end. Takes a few days and you can actually acquire it. I'm going to discuss this special option. Now, before we deep dive, there's a humble request that I would like to ask you. If you feel this channel adds any value to your life, helps you in any kind of decision making, or keeps you updated on any of the latest developments, please take a look at your subscription. If you aren't yet subscribed, please go ahead and turn it on. It does not cost anything, but really helps the channel. It helps me get you valuable information and on time. So go ahead and turn that on, and now let's deep dive. First, let me clarify why I said millionaires need this option, why they primarily focus on this one. Now, a lot of millionaires come from different countries, including countries where dual citizenship is not allowed. They have to retain their home country nationality. That's one reason. The second consideration, rather, I should say over here, is that you want to have a layering solution. So you have your home country nationality, which could be a powerful, strong, in some cases, a draconian Western regime, right? So they are behind your money. They want access to your money. Your bank account is not your bank account, it's really their bank account. They're coming up with crazy concepts like digital IDs and CBDCs and all that kind of nonsense. A lot of expats, a lot of wealthy millionaires, they don't believe in this whole digital BS. It's in place according to them to keep track of their money. And the moment there's an opportunity, gotcha. The government wants to get access to your funds and you don't want to let that happen. You worked hard for this and you don't want to give it all away to governments who would fund crazy wars in different countries. You want to protect your assets, and that's where there's a concept of legal privacy, right? So they're building their own legal framework. They're saying it's all legal. They're bringing up all these IDs. Their intention could be to take all your wealth, but they will say it's legal because guess what? They are the government. When they make the laws, you are the one who has to follow it. You don't set the rules, they set the rules. So whatever they say is right. Whatever you do could go against you. And that's where legally you got to be smart. You got to come up with your own solutions. The best thing about this niche or this domain is that you have different countries to play with. So utilizing certain countries, not loopholes, but let's say advantages or certain laws to your advantage. So you're countering your own home country situation by utilizing a third country or a fourth country. So yes, it could be a place where you could feel safe, where you could feel you have a plan B, but sometimes it's about protecting your wealth. That's the reason why you're adding options. That's where the layering concept is very important. I'm going to discuss 2 or 3 different solutions. Of course, I promise I'm going to start off with the strong and a free passport first, but then followed by I'm going to discuss a couple of other important, valuable layering solutions which a lot of millionaires are closely monitoring and executing on. You want to have at least 2 to 3 different layers in place, and then you want to attach your important residencies to those passports. So let's say, for example, you get a passport B from a country. I'm just calling your own home country passport as passport A. You have 3 other passports, or let's say 2 other passports, a passport B and a passport C. And then you're getting miscellaneous residencies. Let's call them XYZ residencies, and you're attaching each one to a different passport. So your home country is detached from this combination. Let's take an example. You get Mexico residency. You use, let's say, a Vanuatu passport for the Mexican residency, or let's say a Grenada passport, right? Grenada has visa free to Uruguay. Let's say you don't use your Australian or your US or let's say Canadian or UK passport. You use a Grenada passport. You enter Uruguay. You get the permanent residency. You diversify your wealth in Uruguay. So you're not doing anything with Grenada. You're not doing anything with your home country. Your home country has no legal jurisdiction over Grenada. Your home country has absolutely no clue about your Uruguay. You're following the laws, you're keeping things legal, you're reporting stuff where you're supposed to report, but legally now you have a layer, you have a residency attached to your second nationality. That's where this is what a lot of millionaires want in place. They want secrecy and privacy, legal secrecy and legal privacy before shit hits the fan. Once shit hits the fan and they have access to your money, boom, everything is gone. You can't qualify, you can't purchase anything, because if, let's say, a draconian regime alleges a crime against you, no country is then going to give you a police certification. You cannot solidify your situation at that point. It's going to be too late. This is the time. If your criminal report, if your police check is all clear, this is the time to use that clean slate to acquire your passport, a second, third, fourth passport, as many as you can get your hands on. And then, of course, plant the seeds. Planting the seeds is starting those residencies and then converting those residencies into citizenship, right? So it's a cascading effect. You start off with your bridge nationalities and eventually land up with your dream nationalities. Your home country doesn't have too much control over you at that point in time. You're secure for life. Your family is secure for life. And at any point in time, the options that I'm going to discuss in this video, if you are interested in starting any of these layering solutions, you know what to do. You can click the link, book a call, you can have a quick chat, discuss this option in detail, discuss the requirements, and immediately get you started with our professional team in the respective jurisdiction. The first option here that I'm going to discuss is useful for people who come from countries that restrict dual nationality, and these people have sometimes high profile passports like Japan, Singapore, Switzerland, and some of these are, let's say, Netherlands. These countries do not allow dual citizenship, and let's say you want to still have a second passport, a travel passport that you want to get your stamps on. Maybe you want to use that for travel purposes. You want more secrecy or privacy done legally, and of course you open up bank accounts in that jurisdiction and you can secure, diversify your wealth, have a travel passport from that country, yet not deal with any dual citizenship bureaucracy. Don't break any home country rules. A lot of millionaires would want to have funds situated in this country and want to have a lightweight layer, which is the travel passport, to be able to enter this country. So legally they're securing their entry, they're using the right travel document for the right country, and that way their travel is protected. The option that I'm discussing here has two pathways. One is a temporary residency. We're simply creating a fixed deposit. I'm just throwing this out. Let's take an example. You put 300K in a bank account, create a CD, and let's say that generates an income of $850 a month. And this can fluctuate, right? Whatever it takes to get you an income of $850 per month is what you need to put on that CD. Let's say it's 300K and you put this into a bank account, lock in the CD for 5 years, and then that qualifies you for a very unique, special kind of temporary residency. As soon as the temporary card is issued, we go to the passport authority with you and we can obtain the passport in just a few days. On the upper end, I would say a couple of weeks, and you're all set with your travel passport. You're all set with your residency in the country. You can open up bank accounts, secure your wealth, diversify your funds, and travel privately to this nation of Panama. The second option over here is super interesting. It's again the same amount or similar amount, which is 300K in a property purchase. You can live in this property, you can rent out this property. It's completely up to you. It's none of anyone's business. It's purely your own personal choice what property you buy. Once you have the 300K worth of property qualified investor visa, and you are then going to be eligible to apply for the travel passport. This option, the second option, is not currently live. It's very soon expected to go live. The first option is currently live, which is the more preferable option, because a lot of people want to keep their cash liquid. They just want to diversify their funds in a fixed deposit abroad. Let's say you're getting a 3.5-4% interest, you're getting handsome returns. So I would say the passport is not even free at this point. They are paying you to carry that passport. So it's actually a paid option. You're getting paid to get the travel passport. It's an absolute no-brainer for certain nationalities, and there's certain nationalities like the Chinese nationality where rich, wealthy millionaires who come from that region, or even billionaires, they come from those regions. They don't want to give up their Chinese nationality. They want to proudly travel as a Chinese national but not use the Chinese passport. They don't like the stamps on that passport. They want to get something else. They want to have a layering solution. That's where the Panama travel passport really shines. But as I said, there's also an option to get a direct permanent residency and the travel passport. There's a heavy talk in Panama to streamline or make the citizenship process pretty practical, pretty easy, pretty possible. And let's say in 5 years you apply for citizenship, you wait for your citizenship based passport, but up until then your temporary or your permanent residency is anyways giving you a passport, which is what you want. So this is a strong passport, a travel passport. This is not citizenship based. This is literally a residency based passport. Panama is the only country in the world that's even giving you this option while it lasts. A lot of people would want to take advantage of this option. So this is layering solution one. What is a second layering solution? I think a second layering solution would be something like a Vanuatu. I heavily talk about Vanuatu. Forget about Nauru. Although we do Nauru, we submit applications for Nauru, I would say Vanuatu is far better than Nauru. And I would say now in today's times, Vanuatu is far better than the Caribbean options also. Some people are getting arrested using the Caribbean passport, not arrested, let's call it detained, right? We want to be careful with the terminology. And detention, arrest, I don't know if it means the same thing. It's up to you to decide. I feel a detention could be looked at as an arrest, but whatever it is, right? Let's call it detained. Detained by Norway, and a couple of Dominican passport holders got detained by Norway, passports confiscated, treated like literally like a criminal, right? Put back on that deportation flight and thrown out of the country. So that's a pretty bizarre and a horrible experience. A Schengen country deporting you like a criminal. Are you ever going to be able to go back to the Schengen zone? That's a big question mark that you got to look at. So of course, in that sense, then Vanuatu is far better because it does not have the Schengen access. You're not depending upon Vanuatu passport to get you the Schengen access. You're pretty much going to get a golden visa at this point. At that point, then you're secure because you're not relying on the passport alone, right? You also have a golden visa, a residency issued by a Schengen country, which they have to honor no matter what. Now, the Vanuatu passport does have very strong access in Latin America. So let's say you use that, enter the country, don't apply for any visas, don't waste your time. You enter, let's say Latin America, let's say you enter Panama or some other country, you acquire that option anyways. Let's say you get a Vanuatu, you enter Panama, you get a Panama travel passport, then you have Vanuatu, Panama says Vanuatu, and then you're traveling with these two passports. The combination is pretty lethal for a lot of things, and lethal in a good way, right? Lethal as in strong. I'm not suggesting you do anything wrong. Always follow the law, always follow the rules. I'm talking about legal strategies to secure yourself. So that's one layering solution, or let's say second layering solution. The third layering solution, I still feel is very powerful, it's still meaningful. I would definitely give it a shot, give it a thought. It's the Grenada CBI. I pick Grenada over any other Caribbean country because Grenada has better relations with most countries. It's a respectable passport. It does not appear on the travel ban list of the US. US travel banned a bunch of countries. Grenada is always left out on that list. It has E2 access to the US, at least in theory. That's a good sign. It has access to China, Russia. That's a very good sign. So it does have that access across different countries. So a lot of diversified access. It of course has the Schengen access. Now you're not going to go to Norway with a Grenada passport or any other Caribbean passport, but you still have access to other EU nations. We got to check how that progresses. Nonetheless, Grenada can be used to enter Uruguay, and you can secure the Uruguay permanent residency. Once you're inside, 3 days, we get that permanent residency. Eventually, when you get the Uruguay passport, this will be a perfect complement, or let's call it a replacement for that Grenada passport. So it pays for itself. That's the third layering solution. And if you're really looking for a plan C passport and you just want to add, let's say, a quick and dirty residency, right? Everything remote. You don't want to move. You just want a layering solution in place, a very lightweight, paperweight solution. Then I would say there's African countries. at the cheapest possible price. It starts from 95K, goes up to 120K. Different African solutions based on how much privacy, legal privacy you're seeking. Once you have the African solution, there's a remote permanent residency in Vanuatu that we specialize in, lightning fast, 5 to 10 days with all the possible legal discounts in play. You can add Vanuatu to the mix. Now you have a remote passport from Africa, legally acquired, following all the rules and regulations. And you have a lightweight, paperweight, lifetime permanent residency attached to that passport from Vanuatu. Vanuatu is English speaking, no taxes over there, no personal taxes, none of that crap. It's a safe country. So English, safe, no taxes. Interesting option just to have it in your back pocket. 100% remote, both options. So that's a third type of layering solution. Are there any other interesting layering solutions that you have in mind? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. This is important because people come back and read these comments and your reasoning. So help the community, share your thoughts. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to stay on top of any developments that happen, and catch you in the next one.